Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Welcome to Astrology Deathmatch. I'm your host, Alex Harper, and we are coming to you live now. I am still at Chris Brennan's house. He's tried to get me to leave, but I'm claiming squatters' rights, and I'm going to make this an insane legal battle. He is going to rue the day that he tried to evict me from his apartment. So I am joined today by my host, as always, Mr. Alberto. Hey, how you doing, man? How's it going?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing great. Yeah, no, excited to be here. I think this is going to be a great episode. That little intro had me, some tears are still here, laughter. So, yeah, I'm excited to see these two giants of the astrology world take each other on like Godzilla and Mothra.
Yes, no, it's gonna be a clash of the titans for sure. And both of our contestants this evening are both, legends in their own right in the astrology world. And I am honored to have both of them on the show. I've been fans of them for a long time, unbeknownst to them. I have been a fan of both of their work for a while now. So it is my pleasure to introduce Tara Greene and Dorje Kirsten. How you doing, guys?
We're great. Ready to go.
We're doing good. I am jazzed. I am ready to take on Tara.
Okay.
We've had a few little mix-ups with the Mercury retrograde, right? Getting this going, but that's one thing about astrology is that it's great to make excuses for your own ineptitude and bullshit. So yeah, it's a world-class use of astrology is for doing that. So, we would never pass up that opportunity. So we're going to have a series of 5 questions. This is how the show works. 5 questions. The person that answers the most questions right wins the show and also wins a talisman made by yours truly. Up for grabs this evening is a moon talisman.
That's nice. I like that.
So it'll be cool.
A moon talisman. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I have wanted one of those.
Moon's in what sign? I want to know.
It's Taurus.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Moon and Taurus talisman. It's a nice one.
Beautiful.
It's got it's a benefic enclosed moon. It's a pretty nice one.
My 5th house is Taurus. That is going to help me deal with my children in a way that's loving and supportive.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the moon. It's not going to come down on them hard. So, all right, let's get right into it. Let's start the question. So, here we go. First question that we had here is, all right, so we've got 2 charts here, and our contestants have to correctly identify them. One of them is a university instructor and translator. The other one is a comedian that's worked odd jobs. Let's see if we can tell who is who. I'll just start this off. Dorje, what did you think about this question?
Okay, now wait a second here. Are you a Deborah Holden fanboy? Why am I looking at Placidus? Did I not send you my resume and say traditional astrologer? I am desiring some whole sign here, folks. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
I'm a little
I apologize for making you look at those horrendous Placidus charts, and that is my bad. I did get the memo. That is Mercury retrograde / my incompetence.
Mercury doing it. Yeah.
Mercury incompetence is what I was about to say. But I do like Deb Holding. Shout out to Deb Holding. She's great.
Yeah,
Shout out to Deb Holding. She is actually a really sweet woman, and she is a great astrologer. She's just stuck in Placidus, no matter what we try to tell her.
No.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, Dorje.
So I am sitting here and I am contemplating these charts, and thank you for moving it into whole sign. And what is that? That's you said something about someone supposed to be a professor and a translator, and my traditional astrologer friends are going to have to forgive me. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to drop into a little bit of what one might call evolutionary astrology position, and I'm going to say, look at that South Node in Gemini. That South Node in Gemini. Gemini being professor, Gemini being translator. Am I supposed to sit here and think this person is an evolved soul who has moved out of that South Node, whatever, 1974, in 50 years? No! You don't get out of the South Node until you're an old man in a wheelchair, or woman, or they, or, I mean, all respect to everybody. But I don't think that South Node in Gemini means anything other in the 10th house than a professor and a translator, someone who talks to other people and translates their words. And if I'm going to look at it more, there's also that like Saturn and the moon in Aquarius. And I'm a little bit like thinking this is someone who's going to like strut themselves into class, be all proud of their knowledge. Because of that Jupiter in Libra. No, wait a second. Wait a second here. Let me pause. Let me pause. I'm changing my mind on the fly.
Oh, really?
I am shifting my opinion.
Oh my God.
I am going to go with the professor is A. And the reason I'm going to say that is because that Saturn is conjunct to midheaven. And what does a professor like to do other than oppress his students? Final answer. Can I hit a buzzer?
Okay. All right. Dorje's going with A. Dorje's going with A. All right. Tara, what is your response? Oh, first, before you answer, let me change it back to Placidus.
Yes, thank you.
This is what we got to have.
Yes.
Oh, Tara, I have no idea. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
My heart.
I appreciate
here
that.
we go. Now it's in Placidus.
Okay.
Tara, what do you think?
Okay, so I think chart A is the comedian because the North Node in Sagittarius is all about comedy, and the North Node is in the third house of talking, communication, storytelling with Neptune there. So this person is always idealized. Their perfect job is to be a comedian, right? Now, Jupiter is in Pisces in the fifth house of self-expression, creativity, willfulness. So that's very playful. They have a great imagination. They probably, do weird comedy about, religions and things like that, and immigrants, and I don't know. But, and then also, there's that really intense Sun, Venus, Mars actually conjunction in Scorpio. So they might have some very dark humor as well. I think the Libra ascendant at 12 degrees there, they're ideally suited to being out in public. They probably dress really nice. But I think this is a person who's really creative, very imaginative, talks on the fly. They've got the moon in Aries in the seventh house there. And then there's that square to Saturn in Cancer. Again, I think this has been, they talk about family humor. Their humor is kind of all over the place, They can talk about any topic. But I think, they love to be on the road with the North Node in Sagittarius. And really, this is their dream job. I think that's always what they've wanted to do. So
can I challenge this?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Go ahead.
I mean, Jupiter in Pisces. Doesn't this person in the fifth house want to help younger people? Aren't they a professor with that Jupiter in Pisces? Aren't they thinking about how do we help other people? How do we help younger people? And that Jupiter in Pisces is connected to the third house. They're a professor of, kindergartners. I don't know why you're going into
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. You could say Saturn in Cancer is also a teacher of children too. But I also am very intuitive when I look at a chart. So sometimes I just look at the chart and it just speaks to me right away. So Jupiter in Pisces there, and I have a lot of Sag myself, right? So that's what it feels like to me, I mean, the other chart, Jupiter in Libra in the first house there, Virgo rising, they're very astute, almost the last degree of Virgo rising. This is somebody who's very astute. Also North Node in Sag. I mean, the charts have similarities, right? They're not that far different, but also there's that Moon Saturn in Aquarius. I mean, that's someone who feels like they're much more technical, much more precise, much more scientific, kind of energy there in the 6th house, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
but
well, I mean,
Mercury in Aries, they love ripping into other people like a comedian, not
That's
like a
true.
professor. They love ripping into other people.
But that Mercury is
That is
also opposite
true.
Jupiter. It's true, but again, it can be extrapolated many different ways, right? There's Mars in Cancer. That's somebody who's not very patient with children. Up there in the 11th house there, right? I have no patience for kids. I've seen that with a lot of people who don't like to have children, right? So
Mars
I
in
mean,
Cancer?
they don't have. Yeah, up in the B house there, Mars in Cancer.
Sure,
Right?
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that Mars in Cancer is like not too patient, Mars in Cancer squaring the sun as well. So,
Yeah, that's true. It is squaring the sun. So, I mean, yeah, I think these charts could go either way. But they do actually go one way, and that way is that chart B is the translator and chart A is the comedian. So,
okay.
Dorje,
This
I
is
bet
rigged!
you changed your answer at the last minute, dude. What are you doing? Oh, you
This
would have
is
gotten it right.
rigged! Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm
man,
taking
that's
this
terrible.
personally. I am writing Chris Brennan and telling him that he needs his house back.
So you're gonna testify against me at the hearing, at the eviction hearing? How could you? So I mean, well, look, I think, I mean, to me, if I look at these charts, right, just straight off the bat, we've got like Jupiter and Venus really close to the angles, right? And the benefics are many things, but they're not really funny, right? The funniness is like, Mercury and maybe like some sun and moon type stuff. Like, I feel like it's like humor is all about like, light and context and tricks and illusions, right? And this
Well, I
person,
think
chart
Scorpios
A,
are funny.
yeah,
Well, they have dark
Mars too.
humor. Dark humor.
And
Yeah,
they've
they
got,
do. They can
yeah.
like pierce into humor.
Yeah.
And this person has like this dark energy with Scorpio here, with this triple, like this little stellium in Scorpio here. And then like Mercury's like retrograding out of Scorpio. So it's like, it's like taking like this deep, dark stuff and making it into funny, haha, relatable, like, oh, aren't we all messed up kind of Libra stuff. I don't know. Alberto, did you have any thoughts on these charts? Well, you took the quiz too, right? Didn't
Yeah,
you? You got this one right, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Every time I do it, I get a little bit better. I mean, I think everybody's comments are great. I would say like that first house, it just talks about a big personality, and also, Mercury and Uranus. I think Uranus can be humor related too, in terms of surprise and shock. And this person has this amazing tension between keeping the peace and just fucking everything up. And they're like all right next to each other. So that's like, I think a lot of comedians, their combination of like funny and entertaining and like tragic emotional states. I also noticed in the fixed stars, there's the fixed star Algorab on the ascendant of chart A, and that's the crow, and it's about dark sarcasm and kind of gossip and rumors. So I thought that sounds more like a comedian to me than a professor.
Interesting. I like it. All right, let's move on to the next question. Oh, unless Dorje, go right ahead.
I just have to concede. I have to concede that Scorpio is better humor, and that shines through. I have to concede.
Okay.
Cool. Great.
Very cutting humor.
All right. Here we go. Number 2. Okay, so this one, same format. Everyone, there's 2 charts. One person is a nurse / fitness instructor. The other person is a visual artist and computer programmer. Can you guys tell who's who? Dorje went first last time. So Tara, what do you got to say about this?
Okay. These are hard, Chart B, let's see what we got here. Well, they have Cancer on the descendant. That's always the sign of the nurse. Somebody who's very nurturing. Let's see what we've got here. Moon's in Taurus. So they're a very hands-on person. It's in the 4th house. So it has to do with they're going to treat other people like home. They've got Mars in Taurus. So Mars is kind of weak there. And all that. Capricorn, this is a person who takes their job very seriously, and they've always been very serious. They've got a Venus Saturn conjunction there in Capricorn in the 1st house. So this one, somebody is very much a take control person. They've got Mercury in Sagittarius, so they rising, so they do have in the 12th house there, they do have a good sense of humor. And they like a job where they're busy all the time, where things are really, really changing. So that's chart B there. And then chart A, I mean, these are a fitness instructor artist. Like, I mean, it's kind of funny because I would say that, again, they both have Cancer on the descendant. This one has Saturn at 0 Pisces. So there's something much more visual, creative. Pisces is always the artist. And then all that Gemini. So that one feels like it's more of a visual, somebody who's doing things with their mind, working with machines. There's no Aquarius there. And Aquarius is people who are kind of programmers. But I would say that sort of Gemini stellium there is somebody who's a visual artist, computer programmer. That's what it makes sense to me. And then they have Jupiter in Libra. So they love beauty. Let's see what else they've got there. Yeah, Saturn in Pisces is also somebody who's very, very compassionate. You could always, I mean, a lot of these are so close, you could trade off, yes, it could be this, it could be that, right? So I went with...
these are brutal, particularly this
they're
one.
brutal. They're very tight. I would say that, I think I went with B as the nurse there. Just because somebody who's very serious and solid and on their feet and likes to move and kind of a very controlling nurse. Yeah, very controlling nurse.
Yeah.
Or somebody works in surgery. They've got Pluto and Scorpio there opposite Mars. So somebody works in a very kind of dangerous, high energy situation, Let's see what else. Chiron and Cancer in the 7th house, conjunct the North Node. That to me felt like a nurse. Right? Chiron and Cancer conjunct the South Node. They've done this before. Like maybe they were Florence Nightingale in a past life. You know what I mean? So they're taking this very seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like it. Okay, Dorje. First, before you answer, to do the traditional versus modern astrology justice, I got to switch to whole sign for you. All right, here we go.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I know. It's so much better.
That puts my heart at rest. I'm very fine with. Okay, here we go. Let's see. What do we have going on with A? Okay, right? Your work, right? What is your work? What is your work? A is what you do every day. It's what you come and you do, right? And it's the 6th house is what you come and you do. The 6th house is your work, and so the 6th house is also health. And if you look at that 6th house, then you have the sun there. You have someone identifying with healing and sickness and bringing healing and sickness to people. Not only that, but it's a Capricorn ascendant. It's a grounded person. And in the context of that, then, I lost Chiron. I'm a traditionalist. I like Chiron. The reason I like Chiron is because whenever the ascendant opposes Chiron on the S&P 500, then pretty much, without a doubt, the S&P 500 will drop for 5 to 15 minutes So that's just something out there for all of you people listening. You can just create a bot and make hundreds of thousands of dollars with that. Okay, it's 80% of the time it's gonna work. Can we get Chiron right there? Chiron.
Yeah, so Chiron is
in
in Leo at 18 degrees. Yeah, so it's up here with Mars.
in the 8th house,
here.
right? Chiron and Leo in the 8th house. And what are you getting with that? You're getting someone whose healing activity is in trauma, right? So I did look at that. So apologies to all of my traditional astrologer friends who are going to go cry in the closet because someone who says they're a traditional astrologer mentioned Chiron.
Oh, no.
So sorry. Anyways, so Chiron in the 8th house is going to be someone whose path is healing through trauma, right? Not only that, but that is reinforced, and you'll all get this, by Venus in Aries, because Venus in Aries implies that someone is actually willing to work in traumatic and intense situations, especially situations that might involve blood or surgery or people getting cut or people getting pierced. So that's there. They're actually going to enjoy it a little bit because that Venus is ruling the 5th house. And where is that Venus? That Venus is in the terms of Mercury, which is in the 6th house again, pointing out to a healer, is it not? So I'm looking at this person and I'm looking at a nurse who's going to come and jab me 28 times, take blood, do tests, maybe be there when I get cut up and totally entertain me and be extremely good at what they're doing. That makes me happy. Now, why would chart B be an artist if I'm saying chart A is a nurse? Chart B would be an artist because the ruler of the the ruler of the 10th is in the 1st. Everybody knows that makes an artist. That Venus, that Libra, the sign of the artist in the 1st house of who you are. I would like to think that this person maybe works with clay or metals, and if they don't and they're listening, they should work with clay or metals because that Venus is in Capricorn. So I want them working with their hands. I want them working with the clay. I want them working with actual earthy material. But they're sitting there and their love, and the way they find peace in the world and the way they find joy is being an artist. And I'm going to double emphasize that because the moon in Taurus at 8 degrees is odd, like right there at the end of the terms of Venus and the beginning of Mercury, communicating the beauty of art and the beauty of the world and the beauty of thought into the world. That's how I see it, And not only that, but that Capricorn, right? How old is this person? 1990. That Capricorn, Earth sign, right? So the first third of their life is being ruled by that moon in Taurus. And let me hope that this person then lives a very long life, maybe to 120. So they're going to be in that first term Lord ruler for the first 30, 40 years, somewhere along there. That term Lord ruler is going to emphasize that first third of their life is about that moon in Taurus, that expression of art. What's the second?
Nice.
Yeah. I'll hold on. The second term Lord or the first term Lord, because it looks like it is a night chart, is actually going to be the moon. Yes, because the moon rules the first term, the first third of life in a night chart.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that out there. So I am going with B as an artist and A as a nurse. Whew.
Okay.
Where's my buzzer?
Wow, that was a lot. Looks like Dorje is correct on this one. Chart B is the artist and chart A is the nurse. Both of them had really great answers. But yeah. So you got this one right.
Okay. I no longer think it's rigged. It's now totally fair.
So, obviously these charts are these problems are really difficult, and I give anyone props for even coming on here and attempting them. It's really cool that people will do it. Now, what I would say if I was given this question, so this is something I've talked about in the quizzes and on this show before, which is about artists and artisans and craftsmen. The Hellenistic texts give a combination of Venus, Saturn, and Mars for this kind of stuff, right? We want to see these three planets interacting and doing something together in the chart, either through aspect or rulership or something like that. So here we've got Venus and Saturn are conjunct in the first, and they are trine Mars, which is about to station direct in the fifth. All right. So we've got Saturn and Venus conjunct and they're rising, and then Mars in the fifth, trying both of them, right? And also Mars is also connected to Venus because Venus rules Mars in this chart, right? And then Saturn rules Venus, right? And then Saturn is connected to Mars through the trine. Also, Mars is the exaltation lord, he's got of Capricorn. So there's some great synergy between these three planets working, and they're angular, which is what the traditional signification for an artist is, or an artisan or craftsman of some kind. Now for the health stuff, I mean, I have medical charts on the show and on the quizzes a lot, and I know it's a really, really basic astrology 101 delineation, but it is one that is true time and time again, that if you're given two charts and you got to decide, okay, one of them works in healthcare, one of them doesn't, you look at the 6th and 12th axis, right? That's just what you look for. And at 9 times out of 10, the chart with the more placements in this axis is going to be involved in some way in some kind of healthcare or institutional setting, something like that. So to me, that's what stood out to most to me about these two charts, and kind of why I tried to put them up against each other. Alberto, did you have any additional thoughts on this question you wanted to add before we move on?
Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed because my mom was a nurse for many decades, and so I thought I know nurses, and one thing I know about nurses is that they're really practical. Like basically, no matter what situation you're in, airplane crash, whatever, a nurse is the best possible person to have with you. And so I noticed that, chart B has so much Earth going on. It's just like an Earth party. And so that kind of misled me a little bit. I mean, I think that the problem is sometimes you second guess yourself, and you're like, oh, the 6th, of course. Well, there must be a trick here. There can't just be that simple.
Yeah.
Especially Alex hosting.
Yeah.
I know.
I just want to mention one more thing. Very literally, a nurse fitness practitioner. It has Sag, part of fortune at 27 Sag, which is fitness instructor, opposite Cancer descendant, which is the nurse. So like when I first looked at it, without looking at anything else, I went, that's a fitness instructor nurse right there. So I should have stuck with that. But I thought that was too simple and too obvious without going into any depth,
Very cool.
No, it's funny because sometimes it's exactly this happens. Like beginners will do really, really well on the quizzes because on Twitter, because they'll just go with like the first immediate obvious thing that grabs their attention, whereas the people that are more advanced will be like, oh well, I know there's more to this, and also Alex is a bitch, so it's probably something more, and they'll trip themselves up. Yeah.
It just shows you how complex and how many possibilities there are, and I mean, like you have to go through so many nets and so many sieves and really ponder it and really feel it out too, because there's so many ways to approach it. So I think it's great to have this conversation where everybody's talking about what they see, because every astrologer is going to see something else, right? So
Yeah, for sure. And, we were talking about this before, that Dorje was saying that astrology is more like tendencies and probabilities. And I agree with that, right? And sometimes, it's like, this game is all based on what's more likely than not, right? We're playing at the odds here, right? And we're like, okay, well, based on the energy they're given to work with at birth, what are the odds that they become this or become that, right? And so it's really not meant to be totally prescriptive, right? But I think people can. It's an interesting game to play. Now, one thing I've forgotten to do thus far is to actually go and check what Twitter did, right? So
Okay.
let's do that. Let's see what they did. Let's see how they did. Okay. Here we go. So on question 1, Twitter got it wrong. Twitter got it wrong.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes. Eat it,
Twitter, I
guys.
love you.
Suck.
Twitter, you are my people.
All right, question 2. Let's see how Twitter did. Twitter got question 2 wrong again. All right, Twitter.
Twitter, what's the matter with you?
guys-
Come on, people.
Yeah, you guys are sucking. What's wrong? All right. All right, here we go. All right, let's move on. Next question. Okay. All right. This is the last of the easy questions. All right. as if these haven't been horrible so far. Okay, it only gets worse from here. All right, so we've got 2 charts.
Okay.
One's a plumber, the other one is a model. Tara went first last time, so that means Dorje, you are up. What do you got to say about these charts?
Let's see. One is a plumber and one is a model, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One's a plumber, one's a
plumber and model. Let's see. Plumber is 6th of November or 27th of January. So then Well, again, so we're looking at profession. So then the very first thing I want to do is I want to look at the 2nd, the 6th, and the 10th house and their rulers and what their rulers are doing. So then on the chart A, we have the 6th house, then the ruler is going to be Venus and Libra. Okay, so that's like in their work, they're trying to kind of create balance. They're trying to do things well for people. And then when we go to B, the ruler of the 2nd is Jupiter in Aries. The ruler of the 6th is going to be Mars in the 5th house and Pisces, and the ruler of the 10th is going to be the Sun in that 4th house in Aquarius. Okay. So then I'm going to go and look at this. And as I'm looking at it, I'm looking at then the, let's see, the Sun in the 6th house. So that's a Leo. Chart B is a Leo midheaven.
Yes, that's correct.
And that right there is someone who likes being in the world,
Spotlight.
who likes being seen. Then the ascendant on chart B is ruled by that Mars. Mars is in the 5th house. They enjoy pleasure. They enjoy the pleasure in the world, and they enjoy putting themselves out there perhaps a little bit. And then let's see, the Mars is also ruling the 6th house. So there's that kind of like enjoyment. Their professional life is tied up with enjoyment of the world. That leans to me towards model. That really does. But if I look at chart A, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was just going to ask, so you're going with chart B as the model?
I'm thinking
but you were about to say something. Right, yeah.
Oh yeah. So
finish your thought.
So then when I what's that?
Finish your thought though. Sorry, I'm keep interrupting you.
Then
I'll just shut up. I'll just shut up.
Yes, yeah. So then when I look at chart A, I'm looking at chart A and I'm really in the zone of that I'm in the zone of Jupiter and the moon ruling the ascendant. And to me, like there's something there about someone who likes working with other people's water. You know, that Jupiter and that moon, like in Cancer, in the ascendant, that person likes working with other people's water. Right? I mean, they almost have an identity of that. There's almost kind of an enjoyment of that. There's an enjoyment of that to some degree. And with Saturn in the 7th, then there's profit in that too for them. So yeah, I'm going to go with A as plumber, B as model.
Nice. Okay.
Final answer.
All right. And all right, Dorje's got his answer in. Before we go to Tara, just wanted to say see some people talking in the chat. Rosa Salazar, Dr. Ivory, Astral Grimoire, John Streaker. Hey guys, everyone, what's up? Glad you could join us. Bean Dip. So hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. We are midway through the show right now, and it is Alberto, what's the score right now?
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh my God!
48-0.
Ever get the score right? Oh my God!
48-0. Is that what I hear?
Look! This is
No.
the worst scorekeeper I've ever hired. He's never been able to get it right.
I never get it.
All right,
Is
it's
that
1-1
really
right now. It's 1-1, and
It's not
Dorje's
about
given
winning.
his answer. Tara's about to give her answer.
Okay.
So, all right, Tara.
Hi.
What do we got here?
Okay. So right away, the model person, I went right to chart B because the North Node is in Leo there. That's their career. They want to be in the spotlight. They love to have everybody look at them. They go strutting down that catwalk there. And then, you know, the moon is in Libra in the 12th house there. So that's all about beauty. And there's Jupiter in Aries opposite that. So this person likes to have a fun, exciting career. Jupiter's in the 6th house there on the descendant, which is Taurus, which is also about beauty. So this person's been lucky, you know, maybe they were like discovered sitting in a drugstore somewhere, you know, like in the old days. And they love to travel, and there's Pluto in Sagittarius in the 2nd house there. So they make money traveling, meeting other people. They've got Venus and Capricorn also in the 2nd house where they make money. They've got Mars in Pisces, and even though, you know, Mars is like the peaceful warrior, Mars always rules artists, artisans in the 5th house. Again, creativity. You know, Venus, wherever Venus is, it's fashion. So there's a kind of, you know, traditional fashion and appreciation of beautiful fabrics, hands-on things. Also Saturn and Taurus there in the 7th house. So this is the person who's very sensuous, you know, and I think if you're going to be a model, you have to love the fashion. You have to, like, you know, breathe into it and touch it. It's got to really, to be a good model, right? So this person loves beauty and loves to surround themselves with beauty, but they work for some very eclectic kind of out there fashion designers, because there's a lot of Aquarius there, I would say, you know. So they may be very innovative or working with innovative fashion designers. Now, the plumber, right away, I looked at all that water. And it's Jupiter conjunct the moon in the 8th house, which is traditionally, you know, death, rebirth. Plumbing has to do with, you know, waste and stuff like that. That's kind of 8th house stuff. Cancer, water, trining the sun in Scorpio, which rules shit. You know, literally Scorpio is, you know, toxic waste, you know, so there it is right there in the 12th house where, you know, hidden things. People don't want to deal with their toilets, you know, they want to have a good plumber, a good hands-on plumber here. You know, if they have Saturn and Gemini, I think plumbers have to have good manual dexterity as well, and they take their job seriously. So, you know, again, there's a lot of Aquarius in there too. So, you know, I think this person, it was just all that water, you know. There's also, what else is there at 20 Pisces there? Is that the
That's
part of fortune there? What
spirits,
is
I
that?
think. Yeah, it's
A lot of
spirit.
spirit? Okay. I think when I looked at it, what I just saw was all that water, right? And that really nice trine. And just the Scorpio is like very much a plumbing, you know, kind of hands-on thing. Oh yeah, also Saturn, literally, Saturn's metal is lead. And traditionally plumbing, that means lead. So there's Saturn in Gemini there, kind of slowing down that Gemini impulsiveness, Saturn opposite Pluto. You know, I think this person really likes what they're doing. You know, they're like a happy plumber, you know, and they like to help people in their homes. That's Jupiter and the moon in Cancer there. So I'd say A is a plumber and B is the model. So I think we both agreed there.
Yes, you guys did agree, and you're both right. You both get a
Yay.
point for this one. Yeah.
Okay, we want to get the
So,
buzzer for that.
yeah, beep, bing, bing, bing. Both people get it right. So, funny story about the plumber chart A. Actually, I met this guy in a bar, and
Okay.
we had a conversation where he overheard me talking about astrology to somebody else, and was like, "Oh," like started like making fun of it and stuff. And so then I was like, "All right, well, give me your birth information. I'll read your chart right now." And so then I did it, and he liked what I had to say so much that we ended up talking. He like joined my group of friends for like the rest of the evening, and by the end of the night, he gave me a bunch of copper pipes out of the back of his truck because he's a plumber, right? And he's always got them because I said I was gonna melt them down to make them into mercury talismans, and he was like, "Okay, here, just take it." So
that's
you know,
nice.
he was you know, started out skeptical of astrology, and by the end of the night with me was giving me metal so I can make
That's
weird
great.
astrological talismans, right?
Copper's very expensive these days too, right?
Yeah, I think
Copper's
he had
expensive.
nixed it from a work site or something. I think
Okay,
he just
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know where he got it. I don't know how he got it, but shout out to you. You know who you are. Um thanks for the copper. Anyway,
Venus is metal.
chart
Okay.
chart B, I mean, a lot of times, like I've noticed, we've talked about on this program before about careers that involve photography, and it's often like Saturn and Neptune, right? Combinations, and Saturn and Neptune here are square, and they're both angular in chart B. Right. So, you know, there's a photography signature there. I don't know. I could go on, but I'm gonna let Alberto talk about these charts for a second.
Thanks. Yeah, I think those are really great delineations from everybody. I guess I'm just looking at the Pluto and thinking about Pluto being the lord of the underworld and like plumbing, you know, and it's sort of like it's angular, you know, in the first house. You know, and also the Venus. You're right. The metals, the metal symbolism is really showing itself here because Venus's metal is copper, and the Venus conjunct Mercury in Libra seems to be about a craftsperson, right? That's putting things together and organizing them in the right way, in a balanced way, right? Because that's what it always is. It's like my toilet won't stop flushing. It's like, okay, well, we'll make it so that it flushes the right amount. And then I don't know. I was thinking about the Hellenistic Gate of Hades, second house kind of thing delineation, which people don't really talk about very much. And I was wondering, oh, well, maybe I would be misled by Pluto because if Pluto's literally in the Gate of Hades, that sounds like this guy's under the sink, like really fixing stuff. But I don't have many really good comments. I think everything you guys said was spot on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Alberto. So we are tied up, but first let's just take a look and see if Twitter was able to do this. Let's see if they can get one right so
Twitter.
far. All right, come on, Twitter.
You can do it.
Fuck, they missed this one. They missed this
Twitter.
one. Really bad, dude.
Twitter's
This is the
today.
worst Twitter has ever done. Wow. Okay, guys.
Oh, Twitter.
Oh yeah, letting the team down here, guys. All right, it's okay. It's fine. We love you still. We love you. All right, here we go. Let's move on to all right. So here now we're entering into the like obscenely difficult category where because I am sadistic and like to torture people, I give people 4 charts to choose from, not just 2. All right. And this is one of my favorite kinds where it's like what doesn't belong. Right. So we've got 4 charts. All right. 3 of them are teachers. 1 person is a convicted murderer. Right. Our task here is to pick out the murderer's chart amongst these 4. So who went first last time? I forgot.
I did.
Was it
Yeah, I think
Dorje went
Dorje
first?
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Tara, you're up.
Okay.
I've got them on the Placidus charts for you. You just tell me where
Okay.
you want. I've got charts A and B up on the screen. If you
Okay.
want to talk about C or D, just let me know.
Okay. So I'm supposed to say which ones are teachers and why, or just pick out the murderer here?
Well, no, you don't have to justify the teachers. All you have to do is pick out the murderer. Now, if you
Right.
want to do that by justifying the other three as teachers, that's your prerogative. But the
Okay.
only thing that was required to get a point is to correctly identify the murderer.
Okay. So let's go to C and D here. Hang on.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. This is very tricky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kitty.
Well, okay. So
Don't mess with the wires, bud. Sorry, the cat is about to unplug.
Oh.
There's like a wire that's
yeah.
stretched,
Uh-oh.
and the cat is about to knock it. Seriously, do not.
Okay.
Chester is,
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
cute.
cats do that, you know. Okay. So let's see. There's so many markers here. You know, you're talking about murderers or convicted people. Murderers has to do with Scorpio energy. The 12th house is people are in jail. This chart C here has Venus in Aquarius in the 12th house. It has the South Node in Pisces in the 12th house. It's got the moon in Scorpio, right at the 15th degree, which is the most powerful, and Uranus in Scorpio, which to me describes somebody who's very unhinged, very kind of weird, very out there, always felt very, very alienated, and it's in the 8th house of death. You know, they like dark things, they like danger, right? Mars is right there on the angle, Mars in Virgo. Jupiter in Virgo, North Node in Virgo, so Saturn in Virgo, so that's a stellium in Virgo. This person could be an extreme perfectionist, nitpicking, you know what I mean? Just kind of go out of their mind for like no reason. So it's very easy for this person to get triggered. Let's see what else they've got here. Neptune on the midheaven there, again, somebody who's like kind of an idealist or lives in their fantasy world. And you know, also the Mercury and the Sun in Capricorn could have had a very, very restrictive childhood with Saturn trining the Sun there. So it could be somebody who's, I think, my sense of them is they're very like jittery, very worried, very hyper, very on edge. And so, you know, they have that Pisces rising as well. So somebody who could be very much projecting in their fantasy world, somebody who could have a mental illness, you know, somebody who is kind of like a secret stalker with Venus and Aquarius there. You know, and Pluto and Libra. So they kind of are one of those people where everybody thinks they're the nice, quiet person. You know what I mean? Oh, no, they would never do that kind of thing, you know, surprising everybody just goes to work and does their normal kind of job, right? I mean, there are other markers here, like if I just talked about this D chart here with, you know, Scorpio Sun and Scorpio rising, you know, that's also was a possibility. But this one here really drew me. Can we just go look at A and B again? I'm just sort of like playing off them just to
Yeah.
talk about them a
Let me
bit.
take it back.
Yeah.
Here's A and B.
Yeah, you see really the only thing that has anything in the 12th house there is that D chart. And so that to me was like jail, institutions, mental illness, you know, like stuff like that. Let's go to the D chart again because it would be Jupiter.
Yeah.
Jupiter rules the law. There's Jupiter there, conjunct Mars, also in Virgo in the 6th house, you know. So that would indicate prosecution. You would know about that, you know, in Neptune and Sag. So this person who's been in the justice system probably over and over and over again, right? And drugs, you know, South Node and Pisces, drugs, illicit things, you know, Scorpio, drug dealers, you know, going across borders, Neptune and Sag, drug pushers, you know, all of that kind of stuff, right? Pouring, money laundering, all of that, you know. So it just feels really, D just kind of really stuck out to me, you know.
I think you
So I'm
mean
going with
C,
D.
right? Because C is the chart you've been
Oh, sorry,
describing
C.
with
Sorry,
the
C.
Virgo 7th
Yeah, sorry,
house, right?
C.
You want the one with the
So,
Virgo 7th
yes.
house? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, sorry, C. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
It's okay. There's a lot of charts. It's easy to get
There's
them
a lot
mixed
of
up.
charts. Yeah. I've been looking at too many
But
charts.
you were
Okay.
describing the right chart at least. You just had the wrong letter.
You're right. Okay, yeah, I meant C.
Okay. All right. Great answer. Great answer, Tara. All right, Dorje, you're up.
Okay. Chart A. Jupiter in Pisces in the 7th. Oh, how many? 6 degrees from the descendant. Oh, I mean, a murderer, right? What's a murderer do?
Takes life.
Yeah, kills another person, right? Like, I don't know. Like that Jupiter in Pisces, that seems like someone who likes other people.
Yeah. And they also got
Likes other
Venus
people.
here.
Well, Venus in the conjunct the ascendant. They like other people. What is it? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Mercury ruling the 10th is ruled by Venus in the 1st. This is someone who likes teaching other people. This is someone who likes talking to other people. I'm going to take that one out.
Okay.
That's the one Tara said was a murderer, right?
No.
Okay, don't tell me which one. I
No.
totally spaced out. We'll get there. B. Chart B, Libra ascendant. The ruler of the 10th is in the 4th house in Capricorn. Capricorn's in the 6th. Oh, that looks to me like someone who teaches too. Let's go. I said we don't have forever, right? I mean, we all want to go watch Beyonce.
No, we can go.
Or whoever it is.
Yeah.
So then C. C. Oh my God! Is that Mars conjunct the descendant? Is that the descendant between the two malefics? Oh, that is horrible. That is horrible. This person is putting another, the other. This person is putting the other between the two most malefic, horrible sign planets possible. That is really, really brutal. Okay, well, let's see. And we have Mercury combust. So not only are they doing that, but they're not very clear-minded as a person. They can have thoughts that can take them down little tiny kind of like streams or rivers or train tracks or dark alleys where they might encounter someone and thug them. That's how I'm seeing that. I mean, could they be a teacher? That's the interesting question. That's interesting. Is there a counter? Well, let's see. I mean, Jupiter in Virgo, but again, that Mercury is like highly combust in the terms of Venus in the 12th house. So then, I mean, to me, like that Venus is then going to feed the Mercury, which is then going to feed the Jupiter. And this is someone who could spend time in jail. I don't need a CD. I'm going C. I am going C. Buzzer, final answer C. This person, lock them up before they kill again.
Okay, great. I see someone in chat has said, Yuri says, do Alex and Chris share an office? I see the same background. Yeah, I am actually taking up residence in Chris Brennan's apartment by force. He's currently trying to use the court system to evict me, but I'm claiming squatters' rights and I'm not allowing that injustice to be perpetuated on the astrology community, right? So that's what's going on. 100% serious. All right, now to get down to the answer. Both of our contestants have said that C is the murderer, and they're right. C is the murderer. Yeah. So
I knew you were brilliant,
Tara. Fun one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew you were brilliant too. We have
This
a
is
mutual
fun one.
admiration society going here, right? Okay. Astrologers should support each other. Yeah.
They should.
To me, the charts that were the ones that I felt like it was a toss up between is B and C, because like if we look at B here, B has this triple conjunction of Mercury, Mars, and the Moon, right? Which is like a little bit spicy, right? You know, we also have the Moon is separating from Mars and applying to Saturn, right? So the Moon is actually in a malefic enclosure in chart B, which I thought might trip people up, right? And might make them think, all right, well, the Moon is caught between Mars and Saturn. You know, maybe this person, you know, but a lot of times a malefically enclosed Moon, you know, can have other things like, you know, it can be like a turmoil, inner emotional state is in turmoil a lot of times, or something like that. Doesn't necessarily mean that that malefic energy is going to be projected out onto somebody else, right? It might be that person is like directs that harsh energy towards themselves with like self-criticism and stuff like that, right? So you can't, I don't know, but it is harsh energy. Right. So to me, it's a contender. Right.
It feels like a hard childhood. It feels like a very hard childhood with all that Capricorn, you know, in the fourth house. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the fourth house. I would expect
there's
this person...
like there's triplicity sympathy, you know, because the Moon is a triplicity ruler, albeit the daytime triplicity ruler of Saturn, and then Saturn is the ruler of the Moon. There's some kind of like, you know, give and take there that I think makes it a little less harsh than you might normally see that malefic enclosure being.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Dorje, 100%. Which is why when we go to chart C, there's like not much of those mitigating factors, right? I mean, we've got the malefics on either side of an angle, which if you've been following the quizzes or the show, this is a common signature that comes up with people that, you know, not to say that if you have this configuration in your chart, you're going to be a bad person or anything like that. It's just, we're talking about tendencies and probabilities, right? And so people with malefics in the 7th house can tend to be more confrontational, tend to be a little bit more disagreeable, right? But then when we've got both malefics on either side, and then Jupiter falling from the angle, right? And Jupiter, the best benefic, is caught in between Rahu and Mars, right? That's not good, right? And so, you know, and then we've got the Moon in the 8th, right? You know, I guess it's 9th in whole sign, but it's 8th in Placidus. And, you know, like Moon in the 8th house ruled by this Mars on the descendant, that just doesn't, that seems a little suspect to me. It seems like, you know, and the Moon is just separating from Mars and applying to Mercury. And if I was posting some Firmicus Maternus stuff on Twitter last week, and Firmicus always talks about the Moon flowing from Mars to Mercury, making criminals and people that will be condemned and stuff like that. So, you know, there's one of those good old Firmicus Maternus things coming in here for this question. So that's kind of how I would have approached this question. Easy for me to say, since I've made the answers.
Right. Also, Jupiter's in detriment. It's in Virgo. So Jupiter is not very strong there, right? I mean, it rules Pisces.
No,
so
he's not.
Right. So right off the bat, right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jupiter is ruling the 10th. And although it's detriment in Virgo, it's someone who's going to do something that's going to catch the public, right? So AFC is truly the murderer, and they had come to me for a consultation. I would have said, don't murder anybody. It will become public. Just want to put that out there for any murderers looking for astrologers.
Yeah, don't murder. It's not, you'll wind up with a big fat legal bill. Not worth it. Not worth it, guys. So we actually have to pause for a moment, take a break. We've got an advertisement spot that we have to play. Wait a minute here. Wait, why does this say? This says BBC. Alberto, I told you not to sell any porn ads. What are you doing?
Listen, I got to pay the bills. I gotta, you know.
Wait, no. Is this? Wait, this is British Broadcasting Corporation. I told you not to sell any ads to them either, dude. What are you doing?
No, you'll like it. I think you'll.
All right. I'll play the ad.
Tonight at 8 p.m, BBC 12 presents a UK television event, The Alex Harper Story. BBC travels to the bullet-riddled streets of the United States. Amidst the sounds of automatic gunfire and the aroma of cheaply prepared fast food, we find Alex Harper, astrological sage, internet phenom, and lawyer for the damned. From mail fraud using sorcery to influence courtroom proceedings and tax evasion, the laundry list of alleged crimes goes on literally forever. But who is Alex Harper?
Alex, could we get a word? Tell us who you are. Alex, please, just a quick word.
You trying to get cut?
Oh, shit.
BBC 12 answers all these questions and more. Don't even bloody think about missing it. Everyone will hate you for sure. Remember when everyone was talking about Tiger King?
Okay, what was that? I guess I'm being exposed by the BBC. I don't know what to say. They won't leave me alone, right? Look, don't bother me, okay? I'm just a little astrologer here in Indianapolis.
You met with Chris
all right.
Brennan. They send all the big guns after you. You got to be really careful.
I know it probably is. It probably Chris is the one that's turned them on to all of my chicanery. All right, here we go. Last question here. All right, it's tie ball game, and we are going out on one of the hardest questions. So, I believe it's Dorje's turn to answer first. For this question, we have, or no, is it Tara's? I don't know whose turn it is.
I think I started last time. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's Dorje's turn. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this question, I gave them 4 charts, and I also gave them a event date, like a trigger date, right? So they've got one person was severely injured and hospitalized on the day shown. And their task is to determine who it was, right? So they've got 4 choices, A, B, C, and D, as to who actually got hurt. Now, I feel guilty almost giving them this question because it's so much work, but not really. So, Dorje, what do you got to say about this one?
Did you say they got injured on this day?
Yes.
November 21st, 2001.
2021, yeah.
2021, yeah. Well, okay, so the very first thing I went and did here was I pulled up the Fredaria. And when I pulled up the Fredaria, what I noticed was that they were in Jupiter Sun period. So I'm thinking like transits of the sun are going to be very consequential for this native.
For chart A?
And yeah, for chart A. Yeah, for chart A. And I'm looking at it and I'm seeing that from the 12th, the sun is exactly opposite. Is that Mars? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly opposite Mars. And that's pretty striking to me. That's pretty striking because not only is that going on, but at the exact same time, you have Mars from the 12th opposite Jupiter and the sun conjunct, right? So now the interesting thing is that if you look at the Fredaria for this particular chart, it is a Jupiter Sun period that they're in. So you have Mars opposing the sun, which is like a Time Lord, and you have the sun opposing Mars, which is a Time Lord. And both of those are coming from the 12th in Scorpio, ruled by Mars. And Mars is in the 6th, again, the place of illness and injury. And it's ruling the 5th. So I'm leaning just right off the bat, also because Jupiter is ruling the ascendant, the body. I'm leaning immediately towards chart A as being the injured person.
Nice.
And I'd almost speculate that they got injured, like kind of like in something that was enjoyable, or like driving a car fast, or some kind of sports, because obviously that fifth house is involved.
Right on. Very good. Okay, Tara.
That's how I like. Yeah.
Well, did you have anything else to say? I don't mean to cut you off. This is
No, I just wanted to say,
talk
like,
about any of the
what really
others.
helped me hone in on this was the Fradaria, the Persian planetary
Nice.
periods.
Nice. Yeah, it's great stuff. That Fedaria. Tara, what did you think?
Well, this one was also pretty tricky, to tell you the truth. I mean, anything that's, you have to turn this back to Placidus for me, please.
Oh,
I can't
yes,
look
sorry.
at that whole
Sorry,
time stuff.
No, of course not. Can't
Goes both
ask you
ways, right?
to
Okay.
sully
Don't
your
make Twitter
eyes
mad.
with these horrible whole sign charts. And they don't have the asteroids or the outers. I mean, that's why I did that, because I was like, okay, well, if you guys are gonna complain about Placidus, then you don't get the outers either.
Right. Okay. Okay. So
Brutal.
So let's just look at C and D first as well.
Okay, yeah, C and D.
Yeah. Let's
Here we
look at
go.
C and D. Okay. Yeah. Well, because you've got the chart on that exact transit date, November the 21st, so you would look at, how that's actually impacting someone. So I'm just going to go through the chart first and then kind of go through my decisions. So on the 21st, on the D chart, it's right on Chiron and Aries in the 8th house there, which could be an accident. It also, on the C chart, it hits close to it's on the moon in Gemini there, right? Correct? Right? Moon in Gemini. So that's also some sudden, fast moving kind of thing. Lots of planets there in the first house, Mars on the ascendant. Let's see. Okay. Can you go back again?
Yeah. You want me to go to A and B
yeah.
now?
Let's go to A and B. Yeah, I'm just kind of quickly going over them here.
Yeah.
Because it was like a sudden accident and then they had to go to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There was something else here. I believe there was this. Oh yeah. Okay, it's Uranus there. Okay. So if something sudden and expected, it would be Uranus, and Uranus is right here hitting the Sun and Jupiter. Okay, so right there, that is like a very unexpected kind of bodily harm there. It's all that Taurus energy, right? So there's that. And I believe there's another one, which is, God, these charts. Okay. Saturn there, actually hitting Neptune. Right there as well. So again, something, it's in, I can barely see it. What is it? It's in Aquarius there.
Yeah, it's in Aquarius, 8 degrees Aquarius.
So again, something mechanical, unexpected, kind of disrupting them. I think it's really the impact right on the North Node there, right on Rahu there, right in the 8th house, which to me would be almost like a fairly critical thing there, right? On your North Node. It's a destined thing, right? A lot of, on the outside there's that Mars, the Mercury, and the Sun at 29 Scorpios. So 29 Scorpios in general, a very critical energy, because the Sun is at the max Scorpio, death, blood, you know what I mean, kind of energy. And opposite, Saturn, Mars, opposite Mars, right, there you go. So the Sun opposite Mars would really indicate an accident to me, right? It's Sun's in the 12th house, so something they don't see. Mercury opposite Mars as well. So that one stands out more as a critical, and Mercury and the Sun are sextiling Pluto there in the 2nd house, which is usually the body. So there's a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of indicators there. I mean, there are other ones too, but this one, right on the north node there seems much more faded to me, like an aspect in their lives, right? Something that changes their life. I mean, they could have seriously been harmed and not really recovered. The moon's in Gemini, so something again fast coming at them. Could be a car. They've got Sagittarius rising, so it could have been a sports injury, I would say, as well. Neptune squaring the ascendant in Pisces, so again, something they didn't see coming. Neptune squaring the moon, right? They might have gone unconscious right away. They might have actually blacked out for quite a while. Yeah. So I think it's A.
You think it's A? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, unfortunately, Dorje just dropped out of the stream, so
Oh, where did he go?
we need to wait for him to come back
Oh.
before we reveal the answer. So
Okay.
let's while we're waiting on him to come back,
Mhm.
let's see what Twitter did, because I forgot to check that
Yeah,
last
come on,
time
Twitter.
for the
What are they doing?
Come on.
yeah.
Twitter.
Okay, so here we go. So for the last question, the murder question, oh, they got that one right. Look.
Oh, good.
Oh, Twitter, you
Yay.
finally
Good
got
for
one
Twitter.
right. Congratulations. You guys did it. And you did it by a pretty good margin too. And then for this question, which I haven't revealed the answer to yet,
Okay.
Twitter seems to agree with both you and Dorje that it's chart A.
Okay.
So if it's not chart A, then everyone is fucking wrong, and astrology doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't
Oh,
mean
well,
anything. It's all made up. Yeah.
Mhm. It's all a scam. All right, Dorje, where are you? Come
where did he go?
back.
I think he
Oh,
had
here he
maybe
is.
too much
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna
drink.
enable him.
Did you have too much to drink,
You're back.
Dorje?
Yeah, I have to go pour myself another gin and
Yeah,
tonic.
really.
This is getting kind of stressful. It's getting kind of heated. Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's clearly the thing to do in a time like this, is to make another drink. I wish I could join you. I just I'd have to go leave, but I can't. Here we go. So you guys both answered A, and you guys are both correct.
Okay.
So that
Yes,
means it's
yes,
a
yes,
tie.
yes.
Another
Yes.
tie.
Hey,
Oh my
I knew
god.
we were gonna tie. I knew we were gonna tie. Okay.
So yeah, both of you guys got it right. It's chart A. So let's just break this one down a little bit. So, I mean, yeah. So as Dorje mentioned, there's the Fedaria period, right? I really like that answer. I also just want to say that this was an eclipse the day before, right? So on the day before, there was an eclipse right on this person's Mars, right? And then their Mars, their natal Mars, is opposing their sun, right? So we've got two nearly partile hits of these oppositions where both their natal sixth house Mars and their natal sixth house Sun is getting some heavy malefic activation. So to me, that is what screamed at this chart about like, wow, this actually started this incident actually started a thing for this person where once they got one injury, because they got it playing sports, which Dorje correctly deduced. I think both of you guys said something about it being related to pleasure, which is right. They actually got, this person had this injury start, right? And then they, as a result, tried to keep playing and then got subsequent further injuries as a result. But this was like the injury that started off the thing of getting several more. They got like 2 or 3 others like in the months that followed, right? So this really set into motion a like sixth house kind of crisis where they were, you know, they had dislocations and broken bones and stuff like that. So, you know, it was not very fun for this person. Yeah, let me see if there's anything else. Because I think a lot of people liked to have chart D for it. I think a lot of people mentioned chart D, which is funny. We got which chart D is actually here in the chat. Shout out to you. I'm not going to mention your name unless you want me to, but chart D is here, and he actually confirmed. He went and looked and was like, yeah, no, I was actually having a great time and making some really nice art during these transits, so nothing bad happened. I think though that if you got to look at the art that this person was making around this time, it might make more sense, these transits, because it is a little bit dark of the art that he was doing. So I don't know. It just goes to show you the range of expression that astrology can have, and that, you know, this stuff is, you know, we make it look easy here, but it's actually incredibly difficult. And, you know, my hat is off to both Dorje and Tara for coming on and even having the guts to do this, because I mean, I wouldn't do this, right? I wouldn't come on my own show. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, they're maniacs. They're stone cold maniacs coming on here and allowing me to do this to them. It's just, you know, they have all of my respect. So because it's a tie, you know, that would be nice to just have everyone go home, right? But I've only got one talisman, right? So that means there has to be a winner. We can't just end this on a tie, unfortunately. So we have to go to sudden death, right? So the way this is going to work is no one knows what the question is going to be before I say it. And the first person to answer it correctly is going to win. All right. So we're going to go, and you got to just ignore this outer wheel here, right, of these transits. We're going to only focus on the inner wheel of these two charts, right? Here it is in whole sign. And here we are in Placidus. These two charts. One of these people loves astrology, is an avid student of it. The other person really doesn't care for it and thinks it's all bullshit. Who doesn't like astrology out of these two people? Ding, 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 da, 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 da.
Take it up a notch.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Doesn't like astrology. Who doesn't like astrology, really? Come on.
Yeah, who doesn't like astrology? So Neil deGrasse doesn't like astrology.
Yeah, right.
One of these people doesn't like it.
Okay.
That's who. One of them on the screen.
One of them. Well, okay. You know, I don't like, just right off the bat, I'm looking at chart A, and chart A is a Sag rising. You guys might disagree with me because of all of your years and study and contemplation of astrology, but I have never known a Sag rising who does not like astrology.
Right.
I'm just going to say that right off the bat.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because Sag is about exploring life. Like, do you ever hear a Sag go like, no, I don't like that? I mean, maybe you do sometimes.
No.
Well, they are. Well, no, they're a Taurus sun. Look, chart A is going to kick back and enjoy whatever you throw at them. And they're going to find how to work with that. And that sun is also in the 6th house. So that sun is not like sitting there like thinking, how can I dominate this person by proving they're wrong and that they like astrology? I don't think I don't think chart A is. I think chart A is like going to go with the flow. It's going to like astrology and it's going to be philosophical and it's going to explore the world. I just get that feeling. But what about chart B? when I look at chart B, I'm seeing that they have Jupiter in Aquarius in the 7th house, and that they have Saturn in the 5th house conjunct Venus in Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this person is really heavy on person A. I do hope that they're not like necessarily in a relationship, because I think that that Saturn on the and Venus, well, maybe heavy, maybe a little kinky. It could be a little kinky, not quite sure. It could go that way too, because that Saturn Venus in person A's first house. Like I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, these two could have something like behind the doors that they're doing that, like maybe if you're in the hotel room and you're in the hotel room next to them, you're hearing them kind of like call out, and you're like, are they being murdered or are they having an orgasm? I do not know, but that's beside the point. Chart B, I really don't like that Jupiter in Aquarius in conjunct the descendant, because I'm looking at, and that to me is the Neil deGrasse archetype. I think that person right there is sitting there and they are like, I am going to prove to you that astrology does not work because of science. I'm like, hey, we never said it worked because of science. We said it is an articulate language to describe the mythical experiences of humans and to give them meaning and value and purpose and integration into the world soul as an art form that we astrologers can do for you. That's what we said. We didn't say we're going to prove this is exactly true like gravity, because if you push like a moon in Libra off, said that. So I'm going with chart B does not like astrology. And chart A really like. I don't know. Sorry, that was too much. My mind's a little distracted. I've had 2 glasses of gin and tonic.
Yeah, no, you were lagging a bit, but I got your answer, and you were right. Chart B does not like astrology.
Okay.
They don't really like anything spiritual. In fact, think it's all kind of bollocks. But
and I agree. I agree with that.
Well, unfortunately, Tara, you were a little bit late on the draw. It is sudden death. After all, that's in the name. So, unfortunately, we've got to open the trap door and lower you down into the dungeon.
Yes,
where the lions can feast on your corpse.
No, not me.
Sudden death. That's something that chart C would have done in the murder question. Chart C would have opened that trap door and just dropped Tara into the lions. Like that's I'm not a fan of chart C. I'm not a fan of chart C.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Our winner is Dorje Padma, which I think that means that all of us people that use the outer planets and Placidus have to concede defeat, that the traditional astrologer won in this
case.
showdown. In this
not
case.
Always.
Of course, this is just for fun, and no one should take any implications from this. Also, both of these astrologers are very, very good. And, Tara actually has a great track record of answering the weekly quizzes on Twitter correctly. Probably more than, I kind of keep track of people and how they do. And Tara's done so well that's what made me invite her on the show. So she does great with this stuff. And, you should not, I just want to say again, right, guys, that this is really hard, and we make it seem all fun, but really, this kind of thing is really difficult. And, astrology, there's a lot of nuance to it. And just because if you play these games and you don't get them right, that doesn't mean you're not a good astrologer, right? These kind of questions are not the type of questions that typically come up. I mean, maybe this transit question, maybe the last question, that's more aligned with the way we would practice. But when we sit down and do a reading, we don't try and typically guess what their profession is. We might tell them some things about like, oh, well, these are some talents you might have to work with, right? No, but it is fun, and it's interesting to see how far we can push it, and to see how far astrology will take us, and to see what we can come up with. So, that's why I like it. And I think these are fun, but I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea that, this is easy, right? Both of these people, put in several hours of preparation for this, these kind of questions are really hard. And they both the contestants have my utmost respect and admiration, and I'm grateful that they came on. They both did amazing. And let's everyone round of applause for our contestants, everybody. Yeah. It's a live stream, so no one's gonna be clapping. But here we go. Let's let me take this back and do the contact information real quick. Okay. Because both of our contestants here, you can, if you want to see what they have to say about your chart, you can go and book a reading. Dorje, why don't you start it off? You won, so why don't you tell us where can people find you?
Heartastrology.com. I'm also writing Substack, Dorje Kirsten, Substack.com. And you can find me on Twitter at Dorje Padma, where I am more than willing to be a little bit flippant and controversial with some occasionally maybe not always appropriate remarks about the planets in the sky.
Well, yeah. I mean, what is Twitter good for except for being flippant, right?
Right.
Tara, what about you?
So you can find me at my website, which is still being redesigned there at terratarot.com. I'm at 6 Sense Moment on Twitter. I've been on Twitter since 2009, before Elon Musk even. But I wanted to thank you so much, Alex and Alberto, for having me on here in Georgia. It's been wonderful to really connect, because I just met you all on X. I wouldn't have known you otherwise. And I love astrology so much, so it's just been so much fun. So I just saw it as a great opportunity to come on and see what's what. And it was really in-depth and very intense and just really fun. And I would do it again. And I think this is a great idea. And thank you, Alex, for jumping in and presenting this to the world.
Thank you so much, Tara, for your kind words. I thank you so much. And thank you guys for coming on. We couldn't have the show without people like Dorje and Tara willing to come on. And, this is not easy. This is nerve-wracking stuff, guys, right? Like, they're putting it all out here. And, I just can't say that enough, like how great it is. If you want a reading with me, you can find it. My website's alexharper.net. And then, Alberto, you've got readings available too. You want to give a little spiel to the audience?
I'm at translationoflight.org, and I have a bunch of kind of mini readings I'm doing now with fixed stars, parans, asteroids, and temperament. So these are generally things that are less commonly done, but they're fun. So make an appointment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can attest that Alberto has got some really cool stuff going on with the asteroids and the fixed stars. He's found some really interesting things in my chart where I was like, huh, that's weird. So yeah, check them out. And thank you everyone for tuning in. We are
Thank you.
gonna wrap this up, but I think this was a great show, and I want to just thank everyone again for coming on. And I'll see you guys on Twitter and around in the astrology world. I hope that one day we can all get together and have
a drink together.
At Chris Brennan's house.
Yeah, Chris,
Thank you,
everyone
Alberto.
come
Thank
to
you,
Chris
Chris. Thank you,
Brennan's
Tara.
house.
Yes, that would be
I've
cool.
got it. Yeah.
With or without Chris.
Right.
Yeah, just come over. I've got the key. I stole the key out of his wallet and made copies. I've got about 6 copies left. So anyone else wants to come hang out? It's really fun. I mean, Chris has got like some great hummus in his fridge. I've been snacking on that. Right. So, he does not skimp, right?
And that was the
And
last
even
time we heard
even
of-
though I'm basically an intruder, he's been very polite. He's been very hospitable, right? He got me a glass of water earlier.
Indianapolis
Stand-up
lawyer,
guy,
Nick.
stand-up guy,
Yeah.
right? Can't say enough good things about him. All right, guys.
All right.
Signing off. I'm Alex Harper. For Alberto Forero, Tara Greene, and Dorje Kirsten. Have a good one, y'all.
Have
Take
a good
care.
night. Thank